I mainly wanted to talk about to be mindset. I know the last two national wake up calls have been about it. Um, and I just wanted to kind of touch on, I don't have a PowerPoint tonight. And part of that's intentional. I want y'all to know as your teams grow and as you lead your own team calls, you can totally lead a team call without a PowerPoint. Like that doesn't make you a great coach or anything. Like it's not necessary to have a PowerPoint. I know we talked about that a few weeks ago, but anyway, so it just was not, I didn't have time to do it today. And there wasn't a whole lot that I would have put on it. I would have started by recognizing Lindsay Rigney, who advanced to Emerald today. She has signed up her sister and her husband and is really excited to continue growing her business. A lot of y'all know she is in the UK, but she gets to come to the States in the fall, I believe, and she'll actually get to be around our area in Dallas around January. So she's planning on doing the Super Sunday event in January. So we'll plan definitely some kind of team like retreat or gathering or something so that she can join our team while she's here. But yeah, great job, Lindsay, on that. If you watch this later, but I did write down a few notes from Stephanie's call this week. And for those of you who don't know, Stephanie Richardson is Melissa Hudgens' best friend. Melissa is Stephanie's personally sponsored coach. When Melissa shared some information about To Be Mindset with us at the LOL retreat, she was talking about her friend Stephanie. So Stephanie is very successful. Anytime I've attended several retreats that Stephanie and Melissa have hosted together. Stephanie is in the Argyle area, I believe, somewhere up there with y'all, Jeffrey, somewhere up in that area. But anyway, she's local. I got to hear her share a little bit of her story in Cancun. And I think that's kind of what spurred on her getting on the national wake up call, because Carl even said in Cancun, he was like, I didn't know this story. I didn't know that you'd like had a stroke and were on all these supplements and all this stuff. So I thought she had a lot of really good stuff to say, especially because if you take into consideration that she has been in the business for 11 years and she's seen a lot of things. She has built a belief in the company. And I don't know if y'all experience this at all, but when To Be Mindset was first coming out, I had kind of some doubts because I have built my business in the container system. I've been successful personally with the container system. And so it just was like this whole new concept of like, oh, how do we handle this? Especially after we've been doing 80 days with Autumn and she's been drilling all these ideas into our head. And as you know, she speaks very passionately about her perspective on things. And so it was just a lot to kind of process. And I feel like that's what I got the most out of today when I was listening to the call that Stephanie did, is just that idea of being open-minded and open-fisted. And she made the point, she said, a lot of it has to do with confidence and mindset. And I know that I've talked with several of you individually before just about how if we struggle with feeling icky when we're talking about something, or the way we're inviting, if we struggle with worrying if other people are going to doubt our products, then chances are there's some sort of self-doubt probably that we need to first deal with within ourselves. And so I love how she tied everything into it being kind of a confidence issue. And if we're not confident in what we're doing, we're going to attract other people that are fearful and that have that same perspective. And that if we can really settle into confidence, then that can really, help ourselves. It can help us reach our avatar. It can help, our businesses grow. But she made the point, it's all about mindset. And she said, sometimes we need to let go of the comfortable and the familiar and be open-minded, open-fisted. And I'm trying to find exactly where I wrote it. Oh, she asked the question, are you doing whatever you're doing because it's actually serving you, or because it's just something you've gotten used to, because it's something that you're comfortable with? And I think that was a good question just for me personally to consider is that really why I'm hesitant to dig deep into this? I mean, I've gotten excited about it over the past week after learning more about it, but I think initially that was part of it was, oh, that's like I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. Like I know it. Like I'm in my comfort zone in a sense, and I think that was part of my hesitancy with To Be Mindset and really knowing how to talk to other people about it, because my transformation story happened with the containers. So how am I supposed to genuinely share my story about this new solution if that's not my story? And so I think we've seen some good examples of how to share as we go, which, I mean, in a lot of ways, we ask some new coaches to do that. We say, get started and share your journey along the way. Like, you don't have to have a transformation story with this in order to coach. And so I think that's been a good challenge for me, is actually putting that into practice. Because I had my transformation story really before a drastic transformation before I started coaching. So I haven't had that like messy period of sharing as I'm going, but I'm doing it now. And so I think I think she just cast a really good vision there. She said, she made the point, this seems so simple, but am I going to trust the process and trust that it can work for me? And so she said, we need to be willing to let go of some things that are no longer serving you. And I'll just be, just to share a little bit about my story and my experience with 2B so far. I've been, I've loved obviously the portion containers, but I felt like I've hit kind of a plateau with just physical goals that I have. I've always wanted my stomach to be just a little flatter, and I don't know, like if it, like I think it can be, but like at times I've been like, this is just like due to having babies, and it's never gonna be back like the way I want it, you know. But I do think I'd gotten comfortable in the way I was eating. And the reason I never wanted to really cut back on calories or lose that extra little bit of belly fat is because one of the things that I love is I love eating a lot of food. Like I love, and good food, like not, I mean, yes, I love crappy food too, but you know, like I love eating a lot of Brussels sprouts. I love eating a lot of sweet potatoes. I love eating a lot of meat, like good, healthy food. I enjoy feeling full. And so I think that's one of the things that I'm loving about 2B Mindset is it's allowing me to feel full. And I feel like I'm really enjoying food. And by not eating every 2 hours, I feel like I'm not thinking about it as much. And so it's been neat to see once I kind of did like have an open mind about it and become open-fisted with it. I think it has the potential to maybe serve me better than what I was doing. Now, maybe not. I might, use it for several weeks and decide, oh, it's not really a good fit for me. And if that's the case, that's fine. I'm not saying that this is going to be perfect for every single person, but I think that it's good for us to try it and just that's just my story with it. I'm enjoying feeling full. I'm enjoying feeling satisfied, and still seeing the scale move down a little bit. That's not necessarily my goal, but I am enjoying just eating lots of good food. So,
how far into the videos and stuff are you? Because I'm to video 4, I think, and I've seen the lists of like the food list that she tells you to keep on hand, and I've seen the circles and the plates, and so I've been trying to like think through that, but all of my stuff just came today, so now I feel like I can officially begin, even though I've been trying to like kind of do some of the concepts. So I guess like, how far are you in this? Because I've been wanting to, like, as I'm talking to people, I want to be, I'm not. Does that make sense? So I guess how far along into all of this are you? Because I want to feel full. I want to, and I'm like enjoying learning those things, but I also feel like it's a new thing that I'm having to learn, because I, gotten the portion containers and what fits in what, the lists and stuff. And so now like learning, because she has in essence, what, 3 real food groups, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
So
So I've watched almost all of that first set, which I guess is like the core set. I think I might have one more left, but I did not start like really following it and really tracking until yesterday, because I got my tracker in, and I didn't really want to track somewhere else and then add to that. So I started following the general plated rules before then, just kind of trying to implement. Of course, I am adjusting it a little bit because I do still want to eat something before I work out, and I think I need to with 80 Day Obsession. But I'm just kind of seeing anything I eat from pre-workout meal to post-workout meal, I'm seeing that as my breakfast, and so I'm tracking it. But I'm kind of playing around with what I'm eating and how much I'm eating. And I was telling Haley this earlier this week. I think one of the cool things about this is, especially with the tracking, like I know we tell our customers now, track what you're eating. You know, I can help you, like if you'll show me what you're eating, but a lot of people just don't do it. Like I didn't do it for the longest time. But with this, you're able to look, and because you're watching the scale the next morning, you can see, as Alana says, like, was it a good weight loss day or not a good weight loss day? And then what could I maybe tweak and see how my body responds to better? And so that's kind of what I've been playing with. And I've learned I just don't need that many carbs. Like I can eat a few, like really I love that fruits are considered a carb, because I think that's part of like my stomach feels flatter. I think I can function well on a lot of dense vegetables and not that many carbs. And so the system of what she's doing with how often you eat carbs is working really well for me and my body. So yeah, today was day 2 really of fully doing it. But another great benefit I've seen from it is the water intake. I don't think I've ever drank enough water. And sorry, Haley, you're hearing all this the second time, but I was having, sorry if this is TMI, but I was having like gas pains and terrible gas and bloating with certain vegetables that I love to eat. And since drinking the 16 ounces before I have a meal and drinking more in between, I haven't had any of that, like at all. And so I'm loving that, because now I can eat Brussels sprouts and not like be hurting later on, because that's my favorite vegetable. Like I'd quit eating them for a while because it just wasn't worth it to me because of how just the discomfort in my stomach. But I think that's been huge. And I also think that's one of the reasons I'm feeling really full too. Like I'm getting to fill my plate up and eat a lot, but I'm also feeling pretty full before I even start because I'm drinking water. So that's, I don't know if I really answered your question or what you were.
that's good. I just didn't know. You've done a great job of posting, in my opinion, of like, this is what's going on and this is what I'm doing. And I guess because I've not, like, I didn't really do 80 Day Obsession as a launch, like with y'all. And so I know y'all were like learning about that as you went and things like that. So I'm just not, this is my first launch, I guess. And so trying to figure out, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I think just like as you watch a video and you learn something, like just breadcrumb a little piece of it out. That's really what I've been doing, because it's definitely like, it's one of those things that's so simple, and so you almost want to tell people exactly what it is, like as soon as you get in a conversation with them. But I think that write-up that I added to the group text, about all the different videos and what they entail that I shared with y'all, I got that from Melissa. Like you get 21 videos that do this, and like that's been really helpful in my conversations with customers. And as I said in that text message, like I really have expected them to be like, but what is it? Like, but I've had several join in the last few days who just from watching that video, they're like, yes, this is what I need. This is what I want. I think something about that sizzle video is just communicated very, very well. And the people that need it, that it is a good solution for, like, they connect with that video. And so I just think it's a really good tool to use.
What's the sizzle video? Is that the introductory video? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the term I've just heard corporate people call it. Like when a new program releases, it's the 4 or 5 minute video that they put out for us to use that just explains what the program is. So a couple things that she talked about was she did make the point, like, one thing that's good about this program is it forces you to focus on just being you and blocking out everyone else that you're comparing yourself to. I thought that was interesting. But then she gave kind of 4 tips. The first one, go back to your nose, like everyone who's told you no, and that may take a while. I know, I'm like, gosh, that's a long list. You know, no matter how long you've been coaching, we all have people who've told us no several times. But I've found, like, people who I had kind of written off and thought, like, I don't even want them in my rotation and my connection builder. Like, they just give me the same, like, response every single time, or they don't answer me. I've been going back to them and saying, like, using that terminology, nutrition course. And a lot of people are interested in it. Stephanie made the point that, especially for people who have a significant amount of weight to lose, or who are just busy, like really busy, and they don't think they can fit exercise in, just focusing on nutrition, which they know has to happen. Like, they have to eat. And they can't say, I don't have time to eat. Like, they have to eat. And to know that there's a simple way to do this, no matter where you are, it's just really, really, it's a really good tool for a lot of people. One of the recent videos I watched, if y'all haven't watched it yet, it's really neat. She goes through every kind of restaurant that you can go to: Chinese, Japanese, Italian, Mexican, delis, sandwich places. And she gives you recommendations for what to eat for both lunch and dinner, and how to choose things off the menu that are to be mindset friendly. Like, it's just so incredibly helpful. It's things that, like, we've kind of learned along the way on our journeys, and we might suggest, oh, when you go eat Mexican, like, get fajitas and ask for veggies instead of rice and beans. But she just lays it out very simply, very easy, and it makes everything seem so doable. Like, it's just so simple. It almost, just as I've watched it, it's made me think, why has no one ever, like, put this together before? Because it just makes sense. But anyway, she said, go back to your nose. And then secondly, start working on yourself. I think that's what's helped my post, is as I've just dove into this, I've gotten excited about it. And so I've just tried to let that excitement spill out into my post and what I'm communicating to people. And I think that's what's been helpful about it. And I think that was very intentional on the company's part, of containing the information until the launch, so that coaches could share with genuine excitement, you know, their experiences with it. Thirdly, she really talked a lot about the community aspect and how that's a very important part. She said in her groups and in her coaches groups, she's telling them, at a minimum, you do 1 Zoom call a week with these people who are going through this. Like, she said, you know, you can watch the videos and be done with the videos, but what is going to really help people change and change their mindset is having community meetings with you, whether that's Zoom, whether you have local friends over to your house for dinner. Like, if we all decide we're going to get together with our local customers at a restaurant and, you know, like, play a game of trying to pick to be friendly, you know, items off the menu. Like, she just gave a lot of different ideas for ways that, she compared it to Weight Watchers. Like, Weight Watchers people, they get together. People still enjoy and need that community when it comes to nutrition. And a lot of people that would never go to a group exercise class will get together to talk about nutrition, because almost everyone knows it's important, and they feel ill-equipped on what to eat and how to eat. And so it's a huge, huge need. And so she just said, you know, people will flock to the community of this quicker than we would expect them to, especially if we've been used to them kind of like undervaluing the community of our challenge groups. We can kind of expect them to see this a little differently, which is cool. And then lastly, she gave the idea of sharing this even with fitness professionals who might, want, like a fitness instructor that teaches a jazzercise class. She said lots of times they have clients who love the community of working out, but they don't have anything to give them nutrition wise, which is 80% of their results. And so I think she was specifically talking about, how to recruit fitness professionals to become coaches to be able to equip them with this tool. So those were just.
I have a question about that. Like, BJ is technically a Beachbody coach, but does not do, or he's starting to do CG, and like will probably a Camp Gladiator, and will probably be a Camp Gladiator coach. So can you do both of those things? Like, can you be a Beachbody coach and a Camp Gladiator trainer?
Yeah, I know some coaches here in Rockwall that are also, like, they're trainers for Camp Gladiator. They teach other random classes at gyms just because they enjoy doing that. So with Camp Gladiator, yeah, it's different because you're getting paid for a service, not like a like with coaching, we're getting commissions off of sales. And so
Mm-hmm.
you can check the policies and procedures, but I think the policies say like you can't be doing another like direct sales avenue, but that's only if you're Emerald and above. So if he's just like a discount coach, they're not going to look at his account if he was like selling lip sense. Let's just be silly with it, that's what Melissa told me. Like if I wanted to sell essential oils, Beachbody would have an issue with that. And the reason is because people were looking at their clientele from other, like they were taking advantage of their clientele from one company and using it in the other company. And so a lot of companies have that policy, but training, fitness stuff, that's very, very normal for a lot of, that's the same basically as me teaching PIO. Or I guess PIO is a Beachbody course, but if I were to teach like a body pump class or something, that's totally fine. So that's all the notes that I took on Stephanie's call. I wanted to give y'all some time just to ask questions or chat or talk about how the launch is going. I do want to reiterate something that I've heard, I think Carl say, like a launch doesn't end. So don't think that if you feel like you haven't jumped out there like you wanted to, don't feel like the time is over or it's too late or anything like that. Like you can definitely continue building on the momentum with this. And really your focus should be this. I think I'm going to focus on this pretty significantly from here on out, but you should have plenty of momentum that continues to build off of this up until the point where we start sharing more about Lift 4 coming out with Joel. Not that we'll abandon To Be Mindset altogether, but that's kind of how they space things out, is so that we can kind of ride that wave of momentum for a while before the next thing comes out. So any thoughts, questions? Let me say one more thing. Sorry. Madison texted me this week and asked a great question. So what if you have a potential client that you're talking to and they say, kind of like, I'm interested in the fitness side of things too. But now you've got like these two separate nutrition directions to go with them. So what do you do? How do you know what the best fit is for them? I learned this from Emily Robidas, who is a very successful coach in Canada. And this is what she used to do back before we had the all access pass. There were these different, you just bought a challenge pack that was program specific. And so you had to choose, are you going to do 21-day fix? Or are you going to do hammer and chisel or PIO? Like, what's going to be your program? And what she would do then is she would send them the sizzle videos from two programs, like based on what they were saying. And after she had a conversation with them, she would say, okay, I really think 21 Day Fix or PIO would be a good fit for you. I'm going to send you these 2 videos, and I just want you to tell me which one kind of resonates with you more. Which one do you think would be a good fit for you? And so that's what I've been doing now. Once I've identified that somebody does want to exercise, they do want to incorporate that, the first question I ask is, okay, let's talk about nutrition. First, tell me, like, how is your nutrition? Do you feel like you've got that figured out, or chances are at this point they've already identified that there's an issue with it? But I'll ask, do you think you would be more successful with something that's super structured and measured out, or something that's a little simpler? And I've had some people tell me I need structure. And so it's kind of just an early question. I'm still going to do the same thing regardless of what they say, but I just kind of want to know, like, who am I dealing with? Like, what kind of personality is this person? And so then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to send you, we really have kind of 2 different directions we can go nutrition wise. One is a very structured portion container system, and one is a bit simpler. It's this new nutrition course we have. You can do exercise with either one. With the 2B mindset, exercise is considered a little bit more extra credit, but you can absolutely incorporate it into your lifestyle. And so I'll say, I'm going to send you 2 different videos, and I want to see what you think, like what your thoughts are on each of these. And so I'll send the All Access Challenge Pack with Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand, like portion container, the base pack that we usually try and talk to people about. I'll send that to them so they kind of see what the portion containers are about and look at all of that. And then I'll send them, and along at the same time, I send them the 2B Mindset video. And I tell them, you'll get the All Access Fitness with either one of these packages. But I'm just wanting you to look at the container system and 2B Mindset, and you tell me which one seems like it would be a better fit for your lifestyle and what you think you need for success. And I've had people say, I want the portion containers. And then I've had people say, 2B Mindset, because I'm a teacher and I feel like, trying to figure out the containers away from home and all of that is going to be too much. I need something simpler. So I've been shocked that people have been on both sides of the fence, but I think it can show, I think it shows them that we care about them. We're not just recommending whatever the newest, hottest product is. And we're giving them some authority, in that we trust that they know a little bit about which method would be good for them. And I think it builds our reputation as a company to see, oh, they've also got this other thing. Like, this is a legit company. They've got a lot of things. They've got something for everyone, and they're wanting to find the best fit for me. So that's what I've been doing lately, and it's really seemed to work well. And people have chosen both, like, it hasn't been more one-sided than the other. So that's all I'm going to say. Anybody else want to talk or have questions?
Hey, what did you say you gave them to explain the portion containers?
It's in our coach office.
Like,
the shareable media. It is. I can send you the exact video, but it's the All Access Challenge Pack. Just All Access Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology Challenge Pack with the portion containers. It's I have to look at it. A few times I've sent the one where it's Carl talking and explaining. But then there's another one that's got a girl on it that's kind of like in her kitchen and talking about it. So I've sent both of those before.
Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. Thanks.
I've talked to, first of all, I haven't done a good job this week, but I have talked to a lot of people about 2B Mindset, and they seem interested in it, but for whatever reason, they're not committing. So is that something where I just need to say, hey, we're starting on the 14th. Are you going to join me? Mm-hmm. Something like that? Or what?
That's what I just say, I'm really excited to get started with this group on the 14th. If they kind of go quiet on me, like today, I went back to a lot of people and I said, Hey, just checking back in with you. I didn't want to miss you if you were wanting to go ahead and get started with this group that's beginning the 14th. I didn't want you to miss out if you wanted to start with us on that date. So that's been a good follow-up question.
I think I have been like you, Jamie, like super hesitant because portion containers worked for me, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I just really loved it and saw a lot of success through that. And so I've kind of been the same way in that, like, it's been a crazy season, and so to like change something that I've just got the hang of seems like a little overwhelming and makes me very hesitant. But I really do, I think, want to like step in because I've watched probably 10 of the videos, 11 of the videos so far, and think that it is so simple. And I do think that a lot of people could see a lot of success from it. And so I need to just like go in full force. So I think my package came in today, maybe, or yesterday. So I need to go get that. But yeah, I really do. I think though, because I've invited some people this week. I really focused on actually inviting this week. I mean, I've had some interest, but with my like craziness this week, haven't been able to like keep the conversation going quickly, so that way they're ready by May 14th. So maybe I don't really know if I like start, like, do I start my own like a week later when like I have more people on board, or 2 weeks later, or in June when the whole thing starts, like not when the whole thing starts, but when they come out with the app and such. I don't really know what to do for.
I don't think there's a wrong answer to that. I think, if you get people to sign up now, you can add them to our group. I'm still kind of thinking through, and I'm just going to play it by ear. Like if I get a bunch of people that are ready after Monday, I might just add them late to the group. I might create another group, and I'll probably add them to the and that units training. Can you mute your phone, Haley?
Oh,
sorry. When I hear myself, it messes me up. The social learning, the way you can do a Facebook group is social learning allows you to set up units, and I haven't quite decided. I'm going to play with it more this weekend, but I might do some of the posts in that units so that when people join, they can work through that. But the main thing that the group is going to be for is going to be those Zoom calls and that community. And what's cool about it is if we're all in a group together, we can offer different Zoom call times, and people can just, jump on. I mean, the Zoom calls are not going to be anything fancy. It's just going to be a chance for us to have discussion and to kind of just talk with anybody going through the program. And so if I decide, hey, I can do a Zoom call next week, Tuesday at 8:00, then I'll say, this week's Zoom call, Jamie will be leading one Tuesday at 8:00, and Haley might say, well, I'm going to do one at 5:00 on Friday, or, and then people can just jump on because they know, well, some coach is going to be leading one. And so I'm going to find one to fit my schedule. And it's just going to be, checking in, chatting, sharing struggles, victories, any of that. So I really think that the start date of Monday is going to be, I think the importance of it is mainly that it just gives them a sense of urgency and encourages them to commit to something. But I don't think it's going to be any big deal to add people at any point. But I think, if you say you get one person that wants to join this group, and then in 2 weeks you've got 10 people and you want to start your own group, like you can totally do that. I just don't think there's a wrong way to do it. You said something. I was going to respond to something else you said. I also think that something that we might see a lot of is people who have a significant amount of weight to lose start with to be mindset And maybe when they hit a plateau, and she even addresses like how to deal with plateaus with 2B mindset. It may be that they reach their goal weight or they get to exactly where they want to be with 2B mindset. But it may be that once they reach a certain point, that then we can say, would you like to get the portion containers for $25 or whatever that cost is, and really plug into doing 80-day obsession and see what results that gets you. Like after they've lost weight, after they've seen success and made these lifestyle changes, then we can ease them into that. I think that's one of the differences. Really, I could probably say this about all of us on this call. Like, we don't have a ton of weight to lose. And so chances are we won't see some huge transformation from 2B mindset. We have been and are, at a place in our journey where we're just trying to get optimal results with different things. And so that's where we are. But for a lot of people, 2B mindset, I think, will be a really good entry point. And then maybe eventually they move towards the container system. You never know. So that's always an option.
Sweet. Thank you.
Anything else? We've got less than a minute left. Well, thank y'all so